Hi guys, I'm back. Happy day 14. So I don't know if you can tell, but I was definitely sick the last couple of days, so I am a little bit behind. And I easily could beat myself up over that. But guess what? I'm not gonna. Moving on. So day 14 is a review. You know it, you heard it, you caught it here first, folks. So I did what my favorite thing to do is lately, and I took that and I put that into ChatGPT and I asked it to help me break down how to review. And it gave me a couple questions. We're going to go over those today. Love that. So one of the things that it asked me is, how did your energy feel this week? And I'm not gonna lie, last week I felt like I was on a really good pace, and then I got sick, and then it kind of all went to shit after that. Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to beat myself up over that, because I literally was ill. So number 2 was, what routines felt productive to you? I started doing this thing before I got sick where I just wanted to test out not being on my phone, not being on social media before noon. And I found that to be extremely helpful. And granted, I only had a couple days of doing it, because the moment I got sick, I just felt like I was turned upside down and went on my phone all the time because I was just lying in bed. And I did feel like the few days that I did practice that, having no phone before noon was extremely helpful. And so I wanted to try to implement that this week as well. I've already been doing it today. Today's Monday. And I feel like it's been extremely helpful. And I've noticed that when I don't go on my phone before noon, then I'm much less likely to go reach for my phone throughout the day after. It's almost like I just start to get into that habit. So yeah, and that kind of also piggybacks on another thing that I noticed, which last week before I got sick, I started trying to write first thing in the morning. Sometimes before eating, coffee, whatever, just started writing. And I found that just by starting my day writing, I was much more likely to continue writing throughout the day than if I were to start writing later in the day. So great things to notice. We love that. We're doing that. So that's another thing that I want to implement this week. And then the third thing I noticed that felt productive in my routine was, before I got sick, I started going on walks just in the middle of the day. And call me crazy, but that was gosh dang lovely. Just lovely. So I want to try to do that more. That seems nice. I think my boyfriend and I do this thing where we set a goal for ourselves for the whole month at the beginning of the month. And since it's the beginning of the month, my goal that I set for myself this month was to go on a walk once a day. Love that. So I have actually turned that into my monthly goal. Yay! Okay, number 3. What didn't work as well? Well, the big thing was my phone. So this is quite unfortunate, but I feel like I was on my phone quite a lot this last week. I'm really chalking it up to that I was just sick and I didn't want to get out of bed, and I felt really gross, and I was just laying around and blah, 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 blah. But so I want to take that energy of being frustrated with that and turn that into productive energy moving forward, and really put a lot of effort and energy into avoiding using my phone before noon, like I was saying, and also just being more cognizant of when I am on my phone and why. Even today, you're doing dishes, I had something in the oven, and I had 5 minutes of this thing in the oven, and I felt myself wanting to just get on my phone, scroll on Instagram or YouTube or whatever I usually do, and I noticed that sensation that I was having, and instead I was you know what? I actually need to go water plants, and I'm actually going to go do this other thing. And in the 5 minutes that I would have just spent scrolling and not really doing anything that I wanted to actually do, I was able to do a handful of things that were on my to-do list already. So I feel really good about that. Yeah. And then number 4, where do you find moments of joy or satisfaction? The things that I found joy and satisfaction in this last week were mostly my writing. I've been doing this freelancing piece, and that's been giving me a lot of joy, and just starting writing earlier in the morning and reminding myself that it's just for fun has been really good for me, I feel like. I read this book. No. I was watching this masterclass with an author. I don't remember who now. I'm really bad with names. But I was watching this masterclass with this really famous author, the guy that wrote Moneyball. I don't remember his name. Anyway, he was talking about how there's a lot of fear that people have when they're writing, that they're going to be judged and that it's not good and blah, blah, blah. And like at the end of the day, like those first drafts are probably not good and will need to be judged. And that's okay. It's just part of the process. But he was saying that often blocks people it blocks people from even starting, from even wanting to go about this process of writing. And so he says in this masterclass that you should write your piece, write your book, write your whatever, as if you're writing it to your mom or your really good friend or somebody that you feel comfortable and like in a non-judging way. And so during my writing so far last week, whenever I found myself getting kind of anxious because I could just tell that it wasn't coming out the way that I wanted to, or I started to think about how this might not be like the best and like just started to feel like I was doing a bad job, it was actually extremely helpful for me to take a second, take a deep breath, and almost tell myself that this isn't going anywhere. And not like this isn't going to go anywhere, this is just for me, but like this isn't going to a dark place. This is simply just a shine light. Let that be. Like, let it be exactly what it's going to be. And like, right now, this is what it is. Does not mean that this is how it's going to stay forever, but this is just what it is right now. And let that be exactly what it is. I don't know. I feel like that's also kind of reminiscent of how I'm trying to take my own persona in life right now, is like, this is just where I am in life right now, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that this is where I'm going to stay forever. This is just where I am right now. And like, it's further than I was back then, and I'm going to be really grateful for this time in the future, and where I am is the perfect place for where I need to be right now. Today fits perfect. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about as my last week in review. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 15. Day 15, we will make a list of habits, beliefs, or relationships that may be holding you back, fear of failure, blah, 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 blah. You know, all the good stuff. But anyway, thanks for joining. You can subscribe if you want to. Nobody's stopping you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Toodles! Bye!